moment of silence and pledge allegiance, so if you'll please stand. Have a moment of silence. Thank y'all for that. We'll play. Attention, salute, pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank y'all so much for that. We got any recognitions or anything this go around? All right, well, we're moving on. All right, public input. So remember, 3 minutes. We'll have the timer up here. Make sure you keep an eye on that. Make sure you state your name, address. We got anybody signed up?
We have two.
Already.
David Seal is the first.
All right.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and members of the board. David Seal, 730 Sam Martin Road in Dandridge. Over the past year, I've provided this board with information on the new approach that our Supreme Court has taken on religious freedom. The 6-3 majority of conservatives understand the Establishment Clause and the Free Expression Clause and render decisions accordingly. You've been provided with supporting cases and documents to back this up, just in case you wish to change your outdated policy on prayer at school board meetings. My dad used to say, and I've given you enough information on this to educate you. The liberal attorneys and progressives that are pushing back, these liberals want to scare you into believing that prayer at school board meetings will result in lawsuits. In reality, propaganda is all they have. They know if a case ever reaches the Supreme Court on school prayer at meetings, that their goose will be cooked. Look at the Supreme Court decisions that I've cited over the past 14 months. Since there are so many school boards across Tennessee that have been fooled by these godless liberals, I've written proposed legislation on religious freedom in public education. That legislation has been drafted into bill form and now has multiple supporters and willing sponsors in the General Assembly. One of the components of the bill is a provision to codify prayer at school board meetings. The question now is, what are you going to do to support the effort, or will you oppose it? What stand are you going to take on prayer at school board meetings? What example are you going to set for the students? I fully expect the Tennessee School Superintendents Association and the left-wing bureaucrats at the Tennessee Department of Education and a host of other progressive nutcases to oppose the bill. But I can assure you, opposition has never deterred me from any legislative effort. And finally, I wanted to announce that I'm working with the law firm that represented Coach Joe Kennedy in the landmark Bremerton School District case out of Washington State. Maybe if you dismiss my information on prayer at school board meetings, you'll consider theirs. And I hope to bring you that information very soon. You have an opportunity to set a godly example for the state, and here and now, I renew my offer to sit down with any of you, one-on-one, and work with this issue. Thank you again, Mr. Chairman.
Who we got next?
Next is Stephanie Bales.
All right. Remember, state your name and address.
Stephanie Bales, 1009 Whitaker Road in Newmarket. Good evening, Dr. Arnold and members of the school board. Thank you again for allowing me another opportunity to speak before you tonight on the current sick leave policy, 5.302. Once again, school employees are running into the issue of not being able to use their accumulated time for, quote, life situations that have arisen. I'm here to ask again to please help alleviate these problems for staff by reviewing and changing the sick leave policy. There have been other school districts that have completely done away with categorizing and labeling accumulated time off for employees. And it's just been a whole lot better for their school system not to have to try to categorize whether it's sick time, personal time, bereavement time, or anything. They just get accumulated time off, and they use that accumulated time however they need to. So I implore you to please consider this opportunity to help improve the quality of your offer your employees, and thank you for your time.
Thank you. Thank you. That's it. All right. Thank everybody for coming, giving their input.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
I'd like, just so I don't have to say this again, make sure, please, we're being recorded. Turn your lights on when you speak. Thank you.
Thank you for that reminder. All right. Takes us to the items for information. I'll turn it over to the director for that.
All right, I'm gonna, just out of order of things, we're gonna bring, Blankenship, firm up. Bill Blankenship's gonna have a discussion with you on, Jefferson Elementary School project and where we're at with schematic design. Mr. Blankenship?
You want to use that one?
No, that's the same. There's one extra.
Okay. Good evening, and it's good to see you again, be back with you. Hey, it's been exciting for the last 2 or 3 months. Starting off with the renovation of Jefferson Elementary School. It's been very exciting for the team. And before I get any further, I would really like to say what an excellent team it is. A lot of smart people at the table, a lot of good dedicated people at the table. There's a few of them in this room right now. Let's see, Craig Day, he's been at all of our meetings, and the principal of the school. Curtis Ellsworth, where's Curtis? There he is, around on the other side of the column. And to my assistants, Annabelle Lee and Mike Rutland are here. Let me see, oh, there's, behind my back, Matt Callahan's back there, and Austin Bridgewater. Hey, and I don't want to forget Dr. Arnold. He's been a big part of this also. And Jessica. Ms. Elder has been with us quite a bit, and so all of you listening to me tonight, if I say something wrong, just interrupt me and correct me. So go ahead. Okay, that's my name and everything. Let's go to the next slide.
We're trying to.
The number 3.
Cooperate.
That is just a partial elevation of the front door of the new school. These, get something out. I said the front door, that's the front door right there. In approximately the same location it's in now. And you'll see a new canopy that curves around a good portion of the bus entry circle. And that large mass beyond is the gymnasium. And over here on the right is starting to take off, and it goes quite a ways further, is the renovated administration area for the building. And next slide, please. Now you're seeing a big site plan of the whole property. And this is like being in an airplane, flying over the side about 5,000 feet and looking down and seeing the whole site. Of course, the reddish-brown area is the footprint of the building. Most of it's the present footprint of the building. I mentioned the bus circle
you see those 3 buses right there. And if I could blow it up even more, not there. No, go back. Okay. There's a canopy that the kids can get off or get on the buses in the rain and not get soaking wet there. But let me first go to the entrance. There's a roundabout, a new roundabout located right at the entrance to the school property to clean up, well, kind of chaotic entrance at the present time. And from there, a parent delivering their child in the morning would take this new perimeter drive around to this point. There's a red arrow there. That's an entry point, or continue on to this second entry point here. There's a red arrow there also. This perimeter road will clean up a lot of problems with Universal Drive at the present time. And this is see that north there? North is really down toward the bottom of the screen. This south side, you've got room for about 5 cars to unload it at the same time. And at this middle entry here, we've lined up 8 cars to show that they can unload at the same time, and things can move along quite well. It's not just one car at a time. Also, we've cleaned up a lot of the teacher parking lot and straightened it out. There's been an additional parking area here, which presently is flat as a table. Will barely need any new grading. And there's a new teacher's parking lot at the rear here, which is also a fairly flat area at the present time. And once the perimeter road is in place and kids are arriving by the perimeter road and leaving that way also, and leaving on buses here at the circle, then this rear drive all the way back in the back can be used for just garbage trucks and delivery vehicles only. Let's see. This area right in here is a new administrative area which is expanding, and there is a new secure entry vestibule right here, but I'll get into those in a larger detail. Next slide, please. Okay, this is a blow-up showing that arrival and departure area on the south side, and the one over here on the, let's see, I think that's the east side, west side, I'm sorry. And I was talking about multiple cars can line up and unload at the same time. That's quite possible over here. So it's also leaving us some very nice areas at a nice location for some good landscaping and some good color, ornamental type plant material. I will say it, within this square rectangular area here, right there, if you can see my red pointer, is the main power pole that supplies power to this school. And that will stay where it is. And there's also a little white square right there. And there's an existing transformer in the place right there. And it may have to be changed out, it may not, but it'll probably stay in that location, whether it's an old one or a new one. So that's a good place for it. Next slide, please. This is the whole floor plan. Now, the yellow, obviously you can read that legend over there on the right. The yellow is all the classrooms that you have in Jefferson Elementary School. The administration area is right in here, right there. And I'm gonna show it to you at a bigger scale, but the existing exterior wall is running right down through there. And you can see we've added on all of this space out here and a new secure entry vestibule. The green is all the restrooms you see dotted on here, and they're all being redone. Every one of them. I mean, redone, everything you walk in the restroom and see, and below the ground to all the piping included. And there's a gymnasium, of course, your cafeteria and kitchen up in this area. Okay, next slide, please. Now, here's a larger blow-up area of the administration area. And there is the exterior wall that's existing now. And Craig Day, his office is back in this area back here. We're virtually doubling the size of this and moving the exterior wall out. I think it's large enough that I can easily point out the rooms and show you how it flows. There is a secure entry. If you're a parent, you'll come into the reception lobby area right here. There's an SRO located right here on the corner. That security officer, he has a commanding view of this whole area, including the inside. What's that, a 270-degree view of the entire area. We've thrown in new conference rooms, meeting rooms. There is a small restroom here for the public. And beyond here is the existing principal's office. I'm sorry, the principal's office, new principal's office, and the new principal's office back here. And beyond, there is one more room I'm sure Craig will take advantage of, and it's a large meeting room beyond. Let's see, there's speech therapist, I can't read that one very well. There's a small room back here, which is, we call the vault. It's good for a security room. Sure. And to lock up. The bookkeeper, attendance, secretary, and then there's a office supply room here. One person, and that's a nurse, we thought would be very, very good to put them up front. Really very quickly and easily accessible to a parent coming in to pick up a sick child. And that's really why the nurse's office is where it is. There's a good office here, and there's another one with this area laid out with furniture for there are two people in this area who can service the reception counter. So, this area over here has been redone internally. The SRO moved from here over to the exterior wall and that highly visible place. And now we're looking at this teacher workroom and lounge. It's big enough for both, a workroom and a lounge, with a vending area here and a small kitchen with a counter and sink here. And something that's really badly needed is teachers' restrooms located here. Both a men's, I think it's up here, and let's see, the women's is located in this area. You'll be happy to know that because female teachers greatly outnumber the male teachers. There's twice as many fixtures in the females' restroom. Let's see, next slide, please. Okay, here you see a better shot of the staff restrooms. These circles, we architects, those are important to us. Those are handicap wheelchair turning radiuses, 5-foot turning radiuses for people in. wheelchairs that have to go, well, have to be allowed access throughout the building. Even the restrooms, everything must be ADA now. That's what those circles are all about. And this is with furniture. I like it because it lends scale and shows you how big things really are. Such as here's a new conference room, and that's a 8-seat conference room table, and there's a conference room table with 6 chairs in it. And you could put more in that one. But here's what I was talking about. There's one person located there, and here's another one. Both of these two can service that reception counter quite well. And of course, during the day, there'll be cameras definitely on all of these doors and locked during the day. And of course, these people can see on the TV screen, computer screen, who's at the front door. Let them in or not. So, next slide. Now, this is a lot to look at. This is just about all the elevations, north, east, south, and west of the building. The school's all on one floor. It stretches out a long ways. It stretches out off our big pieces of paper that we architects like to draw on. We have to put match lines to get it all on. For instance, this is the elevation of the front door, gymnasium canopy that I told you about a while ago to start off with. And here's offices for the principal and assistant principal right in here. Go here, that is that middle entry or arrival, departure doorway there. And it's connecting canopy. And these arrows, what are they for? I'll tell you, this elevation connects on to that one and keeps on going. And that's how all of them work. These are very, very long elevations. We proposed quite some time ago to use EIFS, which, well, we know what that is, but a lot of the public don't. That's exterior insulation and finishing system. On all faces, exterior faces of this building, plus insulated glass, which we've had some help in selecting the color, and right now it's sky blue. So does it look good, Craig? Okay, thank you. Other shots. This is that north entrance arrival departure doorway, and there is that canopy that the 5 cars will be right next to there. And there it's trying to think of anything more to point out there, except I always want to say it's so strongly horizontal. All the lines, the geometry, the face of this building, it's so horizontal that you just want to play up to that and take advantage of it. And I'll tell you one thing, it improved the heck out of it. The appearance, the exterior appearance, was tearing down that chimney. It's still out there if you go look tomorrow. It's located right there. And it was a big, tall chimney. I always remember because it's like a only vertical line out there. Everything else is so horizontal. And so we're playing up to that, but giving away no secrets. Next slide, please. Okay, we're getting toward the end. This is just a wall section here. All the classrooms especially, the window sills are about right here. They are moving to here to approximately 6 feet. I'm 5'10", they're moving it to 6 feet, for 2 inches above my head. And that's what the fellow over on the right shows. The new window sills are just right above his head. And that's actually what this wall section shows. From here, it is being raised to here. And some other new construction up here at this soffit and fascia. But, next slide. Oh, that's 2 more. Wall sections, I won't get into those over here all night, so. Next slide.
One more.
And boys, so, we're back to the beginning. And, hope I didn't run through that too quickly. Any questions? Yes?
Mr. Blankenship, I know with, I tell the term ununited.
I know one of the main concerns of ours during the renovation was the windows, making them more secure, you know, to prevent against the worst case scenario. And I like the idea that they're 6 foot high. Are those able to be opened, or are those stationary, flat, not openable
We
windows?
do not have any operable windows that open at the present time.
Okay, all right. Because I do know with the present school, and correct me if I'm wrong, part of the evacuation plan is through opening those windows and through it. Are we going to, will this, you know, require a new evacuation plan? And if so, does the structure of the school as you're proposing it allow for that?
And I want to also say at the present time, you have some, well, awkward doors in those window systems, those old window systems, and there's some concrete steps down from a window sill. That is not required of you if you fully sprinkle that building.
Ah, the sprinkler system, right. Okay.
You will have a new sprinkler system.
Okay.
that answers my question.
And once you have a new sprinkler system, I'm trying to be brief about this, once you have a new sprinkler system by code, your travel distances to exit can be longer, and you comply. So you don't need any operable windows in that window wall for either a door or a window.
Good, thank you.
I got a question.
Yes, sir.
I need to ask him one
You might.
thing. Did ask him a question first and then you, okay? Director, percentage-wise, how many students in our county are car riders and how many are bus riders? Ballpark.
At a minimum, 60-40, but it's probably more like 70-30, I would say. 70% are car riders, 30% are bus riders.
Okay. When I look at this slide, on here, you have 5 cars at south entry and 8 cars at west entry. Of course, I know those people are getting out of those cars and people are moving. But, I don't know if that's enough, you know, space for car riders, or I don't know. What do you think about the availability to let kids out?
I think
How far back will traffic back up, do you have any idea?
well, traffic's gonna back up some. We've got to stop them, hey, for people to get out, no question about it. So it's gonna back up some. We've got a lot more room to back them up. And this way, we can keep the line moving faster by letting several cars out at once. And then, hey, all your 8 cars going by, give me another 8. So it can be speeded up. Now another thing is I'll point with my finger here at your plan. When you do that, I think need more sidewalk area. So this becomes a small, pedestrian plaza right here. It needs more room for, there's more people, trying to hurriedly get in school. And the same thing's true here. You need a wider, sidewalk area, more pedestrians. And I think that can really work in your favor. And like I
So you're
mentioned,
saying those cars are gonna move faster?
I think your queuing line will move faster
Kids are gonna be,
and be more convenient. Keep-
and car quicker,
Yes, sir.
and the line will move along quicker.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Nowhere in the district do we unload that many cars at one time.
Okay, I guess that's the question I was
Yes.
looking at, because you're familiar, I know what time looks like
Yes,
in the morning and afternoon.
yeah,
Yeah, you avoid that place.
yes.
Hello. Am I done?
Oh, I think it
I'm
was,
done, thank you. You said I was done. That's it. No, I got one more question.
there was just one more thing.
One more question.
Oh, you go ahead. Okay.
Somewhere on here I saw, oh, here it is, 2 conference rooms.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Oh, we need 2 conference rooms.
You may need it. You, a principal may need to, meet with one family, and one of them, the assistant principal might need to meet with another family. You may, go ahead.
Let me answer that. So, there is a, so we have a lot of, Department of Children's Services, a lot of outside, people that come in at one time that need a secure, small, these are very small locations.
Right.
In, outside the principal's office, that is going to be a meeting room, and then behind it, it says meeting room 2 and then meeting room 1. We discussed at the last meeting, changing that meeting room 1 more to a custodial storage room of equipment and bigger items that come in there, so there'll be kind of 2 conference rooms right there at the office, and then 1 large meeting space for, say,
What's the square footage on those?
half of a classroom. I'd say 400 square feet would be a meeting room, and then the conference room would be about, maybe 150 square feet of that conference room.
Okay.
So a small office, basically,
Well,
you
if they're
know,
needed, I mean, it doesn't bother me.
yeah,
I just never seen it designed to have 2 conference rooms,
Right.
you know, right?
yes.
I should have asked the square footage first before I, you know.
So we have a lot of people that come over for various things, and that could be used by different people on Tuesday, Thursday, then a different person on Monday and Wednesday, or people that just pop in for, you know, Department of Children's Services or whatever it may be. There's a lot that goes on nowadays, so,
Okay, good. I'm satisfied with it.
Yes.
Good explanation. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, go ahead, Mr. Harris. I already asked my question.
I actually have 2 questions. I may know already the answer to one, but I'll still ask it. Between the media center and the teachers' restrooms, there's a classroom.
We can't hear him.
Oh, sorry. Between the media center and the teachers' restroom is a classroom. What exactly is that classroom?
Dave,
I'm sorry?
if you look up there, you see the media center?
Yeah.
Down below the media center,
Go to the
there's
next
a
slide.
classroom.
Next
No,
slide.
it's right there.
What is that classroom right there? At the top left?
That's our instructional coach.
Okay.
There's one on each side of the media center.
ESL,
The other side of the ESL.
ESL is that one, instructional coach is this one,
Okay. Now,
at this time.
the other question I have is for at the drop-offs. Back to it here. Where the 8-car rider is, there a canopy that's gonna be over that already? I kinda see, it looks like there's some lines going over where the 8-car,
I'm sorry, can't you?
where the 8-car rider drop-off is.
Yes, sir.
Is there a canopy put in for right there? I see some staggered lines going down. Is that already a canopy going over it?
Yes,
Okay. What about at the 5-car drop-off?
there is a canopy, it's that dashed dotted line right there.
Okay.
And there's one there, there is a long straight one here that connects, a little short connector to the building. That's all under canopy. And then, of course, the third one is at the front door for the bus, loading and unloading.
Buzz.
And
That's the
we've,
short canopy, where the 5 cars are, this is the long canopy, 8 cars.
Okay. Okay.
I had that same question the other day.
it's pretty much, nothing exotic, for canopies, the standard aluminum tubes,
Just something to keep the weather off if it's raining or
and,
something.
corrugated deck to the roof, and, gutters, pretty standard stuff.
No problem, no problem. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
The traffic flow, as we add this traffic flow, improve traffic flow, drop off, pick up, exit, to Jefferson Elementary, is that gonna in any way compromise the pickup, drop off, and exit for the, alternative school and middle school?
No, it would only help getting into the, middle school as an additional, anybody coming from the New Market area up that way has its own little exit ramp off 11E to go straight to Jeff Mill. So you
Yeah.
can bypass all that and go
Yeah.
straight to Jeff Mill. And then the cars for Jeff Mill exit at the funeral home side,
The other side,
yes.
so they don't get involved in this at all?
Uh-uh.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Anyone else?
Yes,
I'm gonna go back to the canopy thing real quick. Where the bus riders let off in that circle, is there a canopy that wraps around there as well?
yes, where the buses are,
Well, I see some of it, but I don't, I see it go along like, in the drawing,
Yeah,
I
right
see it
here.
go in the picture. Yeah, is there gonna be a canopy that wraps?
we have a canopy as long as those 3 buses.
Okay.
So one thing on safety, we don't want the canopy to go on around because we don't want our students walking towards the bus. That's a safety issue. So we want the bus in front of the students so they walk towards it whenever they're parked and everything's set in place.
There was just one other thing, it was the last slide, and I guess I flew over it, it's what's next. And hey, it looks like this, there's a little, list of our, designing phases, and one of them's a construction phase written on there. We think we're at the end of schematic design now, and, with your approval, we'll move into design development. Now, what's design development? Much more detailed. Really, I'm gonna be telling Matt back there to begin the mechanical design. Selecting all those, that mechanical equipment, design the ductwork, so on and so forth. Then we start really, well, rather than looking at it from 5,000 feet, we're really zeroing in on every last little detail. Another good example, we've said all along that we think the gym is worth saving and can be saved, and it's not in that bad a shape structurally. And we promised to go back and give it a much more serious look at, and if we have to dig a hole or two, look at the footings, we'll do that. That's during the design development phase, and that's next. So that's what we'll be doing.
From the time we approve the schematic drawings,
From the time we approve the schematic drawings, to the time that the design development is finished, let's say just hypothetical, at the next meeting, not saying we're going to, but if we do the next meeting, from that point on, how long will it take for us to get the design development documents to look at?
I would like to have 90 days.
90 days, okay,
November, December, January.
thank you.
And then, well, we'll work through the holidays. That's what it means.
And that was to the design development from the schematic
From
drawing.
the time we approve the schematic design, Mr. Blankenship just says it'll take 90 days to get the design development drawings to us.
Thank you,
Thank you. Good to see you all.
appreciate it.
Yeah, if you just said it right there on the podium, that'll be fine.
Can do.
Nothing else there? All right, make sure I give you all the right thing.
Thank you.
Oh, no, I guess
It's fine. We'll share it. We'll get a third page to them, we'll send it to them. All right, so, there's a front and a back there, and then also there's a third page I'll get to you that kind of gives some project limitations, clarifications. But as we go on, this right here came from a survey that I sent to Mr. Day, and he sent to the faculty, and they completed some things on the employee side. So we sent it to all employees at Jefferson, and they just shared some thoughts, ideas that they have. And it goes right along with the board's scope of work, so they're not wanting anything drastic, some things in there. They want some storage space. They want electrical outlets that work and are spaced out accordingly so that you don't have overloading and tripping of breakers. Consistent HVAC working that's reliable and controls humidity. Safety and accessibility concerns, furniture and flooring, just the aesthetics of the place. They're definitely not asking for the Taj Mahal. They're just asking for, good, clean environment that is conducive to learning, that's safe, that functions, that's low maintenance, easy to keep clean, similar to some things that were put in place at Piedmont. Some good things there. So whenever we made some copies, page 1 and 2, 3's not there, but I'll share that with you in make sure you have that. So there's a few things that we can't do. We can't move interior walls per se. So also, they were concerned about secondary fire escapes, like you mentioned, Mr. Ibbotson, and we addressed that with them, that the new sprinkler system, fire suppression, life safety would allow us to do away with that, no longer need that. And one thing is, some of them wanted 2 restrooms in there. So we told them that we could not put 2 restrooms within the classroom, it would be 1 in the smaller grades. Because they currently have 2, but I can't fit in 1 of them. They are extremely small bathrooms built in 57, and I don't know, they're not, you could easily, if my boy walked into one of the restrooms, his shoulder would touch both sides of the wall. So it's 28 inches wide with a 26-inch door, and then it's only about 1 foot in front of the toilet seat to the door, is about the space. So we will take that whole, both toilets, and make it larger to be ADA accessible in there. So that's just some things that they looked at and addressed, but I just wanted you to know that in this time, we've reached out to employees there, got their concerns, thoughts, ideas, suggestions, and then put it on paper and delivered it to Mr. Blankenship for his consideration and design work going forward. Yes, sir.
I should ask Mr. Blankenship, is all the piping gonna be replaced, like to the bathrooms and to the
Yes.
water fountains, or is this gonna be replaced, what's? I know we've had a lot of leaks underground.
Yeah, the idea is to replace all existing, plumbing, both, supply and return. So both supply and sewer would be all, yes. Lines within there are restricted due to, build up within those lines, so we definitely see a need to do all that work.
All water lines will be replaced.
Yes. Yes.
Director, I hate to do this, but I'm going to. You mentioned, scope of work. I'm not trying to cause any problems, right? So this was approved by the board,
Yes.
and I know that some things probably could not be done.
Yes.
Right? But. Is that me? So let me go down this list of scope of work, all right? You just simply answer yes or no. No.
Okay.
Or if you don't know, leave it blank.
Yes.
Wait a minute. Somebody made this print too small. Is that wrong? Okay, here we go. And this kind of goes with your question, Bill. So this scope of work was approved by the board. I'll start. New mechanical systems, boiler, exhaust, HVAC system, group system, gas, rooftops, and controls, hot water.
Yes.
That's a yes. New electrical system and service.
Yes.
Okay. New technology drops and cabling for data, cameras, intercom, and security system.
New cabling technology, yes.
Okay. LED lighting exterior.
Yes.
New plumbing system.
Yes.
New sprinkler system and life safety addition.
Yes.
It's okay to do this, are you comfortable?
Hey, I'm fine.
You're ready to go, aren't you? I knew you'd know. New windows with existing space enclosed or brick block.
Yes.
Okay. I guess that's filling in with brick or block, you know, because the window's not gonna be the same size. New exterior doors,
Yes.
new finishes, drop ceilings, floor, interior doors, door hardware.
Yes.
New furniture to replace existing school-wide.
I'm gonna say that there's $700 and something thousand in that line. That's the intention. Yes, that's the intention, to replace that. Now, you know, whenever,
Is it funded?
whenever bids get, it is funded right now, yes. But whenever bids get done, then we'll have to make a determination. If we're under bid, then that's
Right.
great. If we're over bid, we'll have to come back to the board and have to make some determinations.
So I guess that's kind of what I'm going for here is what, may have to be left out of the bid process.
Yeah.
Because, you know, and then we can go to fund balance. And if we can't,
Right now, my intention is to ask for a new teacher desk, a new file cabinet, a new bookcase, a new teacher chair, and all new student desk and chairs, a new line projection board, and whiteboard and bulletin board to be on the wall in every finished classroom.
okay, that's good. So anything that possibly, I mean, we've got to make it fit with the money we ask for.
Yes,
And if it doesn't, if we go over, we're gonna have to, go to our fund balance to make up on some things, probably. I'm just, there's a plan B, but we won't know until hazardous material abatement,
yes.
expansion of administration suite to include new security measures.
Yes,
I know some of that here. Demo and replacement of gym, including stage area. I know that didn't happen. That was determined, the gym was,
the gym was determined to be structurally sound by a structural engineer who, you know, there would be some more work in depth done on it. We did study back in whatever year where those cracks appeared, studied that, structural engineer decision, and they deemed that that was not a structural issue, but a ground issue, and we could go from there.
Is that the outside wall, Tommy?
Yes, sir. Yes.
replace outdated kitchen equipment,
Yes, sir.
accessibility improvements for ADA,
Yes, sir.
security system and card access system upgrades, entrances and equipment.
We're not sure about card.
Right.
We'll use best practice of what we need for that building,
That
but it will all be
security's been
upgraded.
improved.
Yes.
Okay. Roof replacement,
I didn't hear you.
roof replacement.
Yes, sir.
Roof's a bad word. Structural repairs. It's a very broad general term, I'm assuming.
It is. So that's one thing, especially on the brick facades of your soffits, exterior, all that would be repaired with that ephes to two-fold.
Okay, and you probably answered the next one. Exterior facade improvements,
Yes,
okay. Fencing,
yes,
okay. Restrooms completely gutted and remodeled.
yes,
Remediation, drainage issues including stormwater installation.
yes, sir.
There's a lot of water over
There is.
Place near the front. I don't know where I wanted to say that, water, parking improvements included increased car rider space to remove vehicles from roadway.
Yes, sir.
Explained that, so. Now this one, classroom space of 800 plus square feet, I know that can't be done like you said.
Yes. What, let
You
me,
can't, and I know you have a plan to accommodate those classrooms that are under 800 square feet.
yes,
So you've got something worked out, and so there will not be a big overload, right?
that is correct. Yeah, we'll practice utilization of, you know, a smaller need in those, low square footage classrooms, so
Right.
that we're not gonna put a regular classroom in there, so,
Just scheduling and things like
yes.
that.
Mhm.
I don't know about this next one, I don't know how it goes. It says demolition and replacement of wooden playground used by public.
Yeah, so we had looked at expanding out, and where the bus have to go as far as if it had to move out towards that wooden playground, and we had to take down trees and encroach upon that area. If we took that down, then would we replace it?
Right.
And the board said yes.
Right.
So we don't anticipate the bus circle being moved much, and we don't anticipate the access road interfering with that playground. That playground's 30 years old, still got some life left, I don't know how much. You know, it will come to an end one day, but it doesn't have to with this project.
Right, okay.
Was the playground put there by the school system? It wasn't, was it?
No, I was
I don't
in
think it
college,
No, it was
we
not.
came over and dug some holes, Lions Club, Ruatan, there was some farmers there, I mean, it was a community project.
It was community.
Yes.
Rear Town, I believe. it
Yes,
was.
Another one, structural assessment of foundations.
yes.
Yeah.
And they will
a big
continue
yes
more.
on that one.
Yeah, we've already done some borings in that area in the front, so, we've done some already.
And the last one, didn't have to be because you've worked it out, but it says portable classroom and office space to utilize during renovation. So we're not using any portables.
Not at this time, it's not our intentions. We plan to get all non-essential personnel out of that building. If they're not there Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, they're gone. We'll find them another place and they can come in there when they need to be. So we're working on that now, even though we're, 8
Right.
months away from starting. We're working on that to be ready.
Good. I didn't want to ask him,
Yes,
I know you and him
yeah.
know what's going on. And so the majority of the things on this list that the board voted are being done. Except, like you say, the interior wall, you
Yes, sir.
can't touch those, and we didn't need portable classrooms, and what else did I mark out? The gym was fine.
Yes,
Didn't have to do with the playground, those kind of things,
yes.
But everything else, the others were biggies, and they
Yes, sir.
were being taken care of.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you for doing that for me, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
All right, we good on Jefferson? Talbot Elementary, not much is gonna change this week at Talbot. Whatever I sent you last week will be about the same. I'm sure they were not there today. I don't expect them there much this week. They've got some digging for underground piping, block work to start, so I don't see much happening this week there on that site. So basically, we've got footers in. Is that about where we're at? Footers are in and ready for underground work, and we'll just go from there. But that's about it. Yes, sir.
Are we gonna wait until the end of the project to demolish that house on that lot that we purchased?
Not if Austin gets a wild hair before then.
It gets a wrecking ball.
Yeah, he's pretty good at demolition. We probably will. We'll probably look at, I know we're looking at an access road in there.
Keep looking for that road.
Yeah, so we're looking at that access road. We have some things in place. Right now, I think we have a possible change order with the company around $100,000 that at the end of the project would put that road that would tie into where the smoking tree was, where the exit is right now for the construction that would go all the way over to the Car Rider Loop. So whether we used it or not as an exit, it would be a way that we can get emergency personnel, people out if we need to. So right now, we're very limited. You take let's say tomorrow, an employee or a person in a car has a heart attack right there at the Car Rider drop-off. I'd say the closest they're getting is a quarter of a mile to that school, without that entrance. Same thing happened at Dandridge Elementary, back 2007 or 8, 6 maybe, before we put the entrance at the Justice Center. It was one way in, one way out, and it was backed up, had a medical emergency. So that's key to get an additional entrance in for that purpose. Any questions on Talbot? So right now, the plan is over Christmas break to redo the 2 restrooms that is, has kind of the original tile and underground piping. And then later, after maybe 1st of February, redo the gym. So we'd have to shut it down for a short period of time, but the PE teacher we've talked to her, she's fine with it, so that would not interfere.
That won't happen over Christmas, though.
No, right now, over that Christmas break, it's very difficult you usually have to be a year out to get a floor contractor. So many floors get refinished, redone over Christmas break. They're usually a year out on that. So I don't think it would pay in for us there. I think we'll get a better quality job waiting. And that's all I have on Talbot Elementary. Any questions? In your board agenda, in your business agenda, there will be a TISA accountability report. So we have to get that board approval, then we have to put it out there, a little bit of public facing. So this is a requirement by the state legislators. So we post this in. As you read through there, it goes along with a lot of the board's 5-year strategic plan, the district yearly plan. So those things marry and match up to some of our big goals of accountability, spending money towards improving student achievement, student growth, those type things. And this is just a requirement that we have to do with the state. And you'll see this platform used this year. Next year it'll look a little bit different, as the state's already decided to change the platform, so it will look different next year. Any questions on that? You can read through that. Just talks about major investments toward the goals that are listed in there. And like I said, many of them are similar and connect to the board's 5-year strategic plans.
So, I do have a question. Reading through, I think it was somewhere there. So we do iReady with pre-K through 5th grade?
No, it's third, second,
Already math is K through 8.
K through 8, already math.
Okay. And we do tutoring for it? Is that part of the TISA funding? Or how does that happen?
Tutors are a part of outcomes money that is utilized. So TISA outcomes money comes into the district in December, and we have used that money to fund tutors for, some tutors are required by the state in 3rd, 4th, and even 5th grade as a requirement. But we use that TISA outcomes money for early grade instructional assistants and for tutors, yes.
Okay. But we don't have tutoring for high school?
No, We do not. So right now, we do tutors within the school day in elementary school, and only no tutors are in middle or high school. And like I said, it is a requirement for 3rd, 4th, and 5th grade students that meet certain criteria have to have tutoring as a requirement through state legislation for the 3rd grade retention, low achievement type levels.
Okay, because I know is there different tiers in iReady? Is that part of the iReady, the different tiers?
There's different tiers in RTI, Response to Intervention has different tiers. Tier 1 is your general education, what students get on a day-to-day basis in the classroom. Then there's Tier 2, that's usually 25% or less of your students get Tier 2. And Tier 3 is 10% or less of your students that get a more intensive. They're usually 2 grade levels or more behind and struggling.
Okay. So, is that part of the tutoring when dealing with the different tier levels? No?
Yes,
It
could
is?
be. A kid in RTI 2 could be getting tutoring, response to intervention. So it is a way to, this goes deep. It's a way to students, in order for a student to reach special education through a learning disability, has to go through the tier process. Unless they come in with a diagnosed disability through a medical professional. So for the school system to get a student special education support, they have to go through the 2-tier system to be labeled with a specific learning disability.
Okay. So this happens all through, up through 8th grade? Up through middle school? And
Yes.
then once they get to high school, there's no RTI, there's no iReady, they do a different type of scaling or something? to see where
Right,
they're at?
so, of course, in high school level, they have different levels of classes. They have a general class, they have honors class, they have, what's the other one? Accelerated. So they can choose pathways. There's a lot more options than just, 3rd grade reading.
Yeah.
So your 3rd grade reading classroom is, you might have kids in there on a kindergarten level and an 8th grade level reading in a 3rd grade classroom. Whereas at the high school level, your kids are more, they're more on the pathway of, standard English, honors English, advanced English. So.
I just wonder, I've actually had multiple parents ask about tutoring, and I think I asked you before, and you said we don't have that in the high school level. And I'm not gonna put numbers out there because I think that it's not just our district, it's all districts. It goes same with IQ levels when you look anywhere. When the younger they are, technically their IQ levels higher, and as a child gets older, their IQ kind of levels out or follows out. Same as their literacy. I think our 3rd grade literacy is probably a higher percentage than our 8th grade. I think a lot of what I was looking at, a lot of the correlation is across the board, not just us. And I wonder what we do once a kid leaves 8th grade to help them in high school if we're not doing tutoring. Is there something that we can do, or are we doing to help these kids once they get into high school?
One thing, it would be nice to say we're going to do math tutoring. Right now, Mr. Rogers has two vacant math teacher positions. So to say we're gonna do, I mean, number one, I've been in education 27 years. There's no way I can tutor anybody in high school level math. That takes some specialized work in there, and it would take a certified math teacher at the high school level to do it, and we can't even, we're too short right now filling those positions. They're just not there. We've had advertisements for the position for several years and not been able to fill them. We did talk a retired teacher into coming back in the spring that's been retired for several years to teach some advanced level coursework. So, you know, we're out beating the bushes, but it's not happening as far as that goes. Same thing with, I mean, there's ways we could help students, and we do, that are, you know, multiple grade levels behind. But as far as enrichment, you know, some of the biggest things is we're trying to find ways to encourage students who are struggling to stay in school, that the light's at the end of the tunnel. Here's multiple ways that you can earn a degree and a pathway forward. So, you know, a lot of them, they say they don't want to go to college. Some of them want to even stop school now and start work. And, you know, there's a pathway to get there, but we try to encourage them to finish their degree somehow, some way.
But there's nothing on the state level that helps us out with TISA funding or anything like that that will help out high schoolers or anything like that?
Not to my knowledge, as far as like a tutor. The state provided some tutoring resources. That was mainly through 8th grade, because even the state recognizes there's, you know, where do you offer tutoring in at the high school level? There's so many courses. So do you just offer it at, you know, a general algebra 1 level math, or, you know, do you offer it at just a general English level? We do a lot of work for students too that want to do to improve ACT scores, and then we also help students find pathways to, if they don't care about ACT, they want to go to TCAT or they want to go to work. There's pathways for that. Also through CTE programming, through work-based learning, and can help students to land jobs and start work. So I think that they do a great job of providing them. I mean, some of those students in high school that are struggling with the academic part, they will excel in work whenever they get in there, because they could care less about math, science, and history, but they can take 2 sticks of metal and make a masterpiece of a bead and or hireable. And that's the big thing. A lot of these students need some of them need to get better at showing up for work. You know, I call it school, but you know, some of our struggling students are missing 20, they've already missed a lot of school. So those are soft skills that bleed over into work. You know, it's hard to want to hire a student that didn't go to school on a regular basis. They probably won't come to work on a regular basis either. So really talking to students about, you know, your job now is education. Coming to work is going to school, and that'll pay off as you enter the workforce later. So, but there is no tutoring for the most part. There's nothing that we provide on a regular basis for high school. nothing at the middle school level either besides iReady that puts a student at their grade level and paces them to improve.
And I do know that our CTE, is pretty top notch
Right.
amongst the state, so, but no, I appreciate it, thank you.
Thank you.
I got a question. How long has our school district been teaching phonics?
What year did it begin?
And did we ever stop and then start again?
We've never stopped.
We've always done phonics?
At least 15 years,
Okay.
would be fair to say, since 2010, 11.
I started teaching in 1999, first grade, and we did Saxon phonics, and so we've done phonics.
Since 99,
Always done phonics? Okay.
different programs,
Mhm.
but we have taught phonics since 99.
Consistently?
There you go.
Every year?
Mhm.
Okay.
All right. Anything else on TISA accountability? Joshua, we will ask you to sign something if that is voted on and approved by the board. We'll upload it and then it goes from there next week. All right. Next, Matt Callahan with Perfection Group is here. If you have any questions on Jefferson Middle School, that was in your packet for the, I'm flipping. You see it in there somewhere, Josh? Yeah. There it is. It's got some colored photos. It has one thing about Jefferson Middle School. Jefferson Middle School has that's unique from Rush Strong, Dandridge, White Pine, New Market. Jeff Middle has some humidity issues. Some in the cafeteria, some in the hallways. So one thing here in this project is additional package units in the hallway for hallway ventilation. And I believe we were looking to add one at the cafeteria serving line. And this would be totally similar to Rush Strong, New Market, Dandridge, where we go in, replace these units. It's 20, 30, 38 years old, some of them. There's 3 units that would remain in place, not get changed out, that are relatively new, just a few years old, and really update the system. But Matt's here with Perfection if y'all have any questions.
What's the cost?
$4,804,082.
Whoa. How many pennies?
No pennies, 0, 0.
One more time.
$4,804,082.
That's on this page.
You didn't hear me.
It's on this page right here.
Oh, okay.
Now,
15.
ask a question.
Obvious, I hadn't read it, but
Um,
give myself away, didn't I?
As I recall, in the projected cost back when we were, looking at the project, the lighting and HVAC replacement project as a whole seemed to be a little less. I addressed this with Dr. Arnold, and I guess a lot of that has to do with the hallway air conditioning units that now have to be there, I guess, by state law, right?
To meet air quality standards, it would be good to put these in here and reduce humidity levels. And then also, bottom line is over 18 months, stuff has increased in price.
Yeah.
Some.
So it's not,
I mean, you know, you take 10% of, you know, if stuff went up 10% of 4 million, if it was, you know, 4.4, now it's 4.8, so, that's kind of where that is.
One of the things is that the first pass through several years ago when we did this, some of the windows were operable, small amount, which means that you don't have to have the additional outdoor air requirements going in there. The last conversation with one of them was awesome. Can we get those to function properly? And they're either jammed shut, painted shut, they're just old windows. So this was the best way to alleviate and add outdoor air into the. So we're putting in 5 new units, one in the serving line, which added cost, 40 new units with ductwork and all the ancillary stuff that goes with those new units is a cost, as well as with some of the classrooms, because there are outdoor vents that when the system on the inside turns on, a split system, so you get an outdoor condensing unit, you get an indoor unit. When that comes on, it's supposed to draw air through the outdoor vent on the outside wall through there. Some of those rooms weren't getting enough air. So we also added an inline fan to that to assist the air to get down those long runs, because they're all tied together, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. One more question.
Sure.
Are will the air conditioning units at Jeff Middle be land-based or roof-based?
We're going to be replacing like for like. So if you have 38 split systems, there's no way to really go back without an extensive amount of cost to put in different units. We are removing all the outdoor pads or a piece of concrete / plastic type of pad that the unit sits on, replacing all that. We're actually cleaning up a lot of the old refrigerant piping runs.
that was my next question.
Yeah, to make it look a lot better and more appealing. That's the idea behind that as well. Yes, absolutely.
Do you know how many actually are land-based offhand?
Offhand, 38 classroom split systems. There is one 50-ton unit that serves the auditorium, and another 7.5-ton that serves a room off of the auditorium. Is it the band room, Tom?
Yes.
Dr. Earl?
Yeah, it is.
So that's it. 38 plus 2 more.
Those 40 that are land-based. Are
Correct.
those outside or interior?
You got they're split systems, so you got an outdoor condensing unit that has the compressor in it and outdoor coils, etc. And they have refrigerant lines that go into an indoor unit. The classrooms have, on the older section, have a horizontal air handling unit that's up towards the ceiling. Okay. The newer section, I believe, has them either in the ceiling or in a mechanical closet. But yes, so you have an outdoor unit matched up with an indoor unit in each section for that.
Yeah, actually, I answered my second question. Thank you. What I meant to say, so Jefferson Middle actually is like a big circle, a square with the center, right?
Yes.
With no outside and access to it. You have to be in the school to get to that center, correct?
There's just one small courtyard about half the size of this.
Are the units located in that courtyard or are they on the exterior?
There's one in that courtyard.
There's one in the court. There's one in the courtyard that we are going to look at taking that to the roof to get it out of the courtyard and put it right above the roof. It shouldn't be a problem because the air handling unit is right behind that window in basically a mechanical room that's off of an equipment room as well. Football.
So is there any way, I mean, is it not good to do this, or is there something that you would suggest? You know, when I see units sitting outside, you know, I think of these high-end residential homes, a lot of times they'll put these shrubs on 2 or 3 sides of it to kind of hide it from the street or something. Is there something that we could do to kind of hide the look of those things sitting around. And it's not really good to do that. I mean, I look at it kind of more of a, you know, I remember a time back in, I think it was '08, when Concord went through the roof, and people were literally having their AC lines just ripped out of their houses.
We service facilities, convenience stores up in Louisville, Kentucky. While the store was running, a unit was cut from the electrical power and the refrigerant lines and stolen out back line. The convenience store was in front, so I know what you're talking about. You can put fencing around it, you can put shrubbery, that's just added cost, but be careful with shrubbery is put around there, because you don't want something that's going to defoliate and get caught and sucked into the coils there, because that just adds extra maintenance for cleaning.
Yeah, I'm trying to eliminate the maintenance side of things too. So, I mean, is there some type of a paneling or stuff like that? I mean, we can do something like that.
Yeah, as long as you don't, what you don't want to do is restrict the airflow. As that fan on the top of the unit pulls air out from the condensing unit and the coils, or from the compressor and the coils, that air is being pulled through the coils from the outside in. So you just don't want to restrict that airflow.
Okay.
That's
So that is an option if we wanted to kind of hide it or whatever.
Yeah,
You know,
you can even put one panel just in front. You don't need three sides.
Right. That's why I said even just two sides. I see a lot of people do three sides, and I'm like, and they just make a lot of flow underneath. Yeah, you know, to me, a new unit looks really good, but then you get years down the line, the units don't look as nice, and just, I'm more worried about the visual view of it. So that's something we can deal with later on.
And to your point, Dr. Arnold, I did an average of all the systems that we're looking to replace. Average is 30.3 years for all that.
This would be a question for Jessica. If, in fact, we were to approve this project, what, and seeing that we approved the ag building and it's been approved by the county commission, if we were to approve this project, what would we have left in our fund balance after this expenditure?
Oh, well, you have around 9.7 million unassigned, so it was 4.8.
We can go out that way or not, I have no
4.8 is what we
So,
would have.
a little shy of 5 is what you would have left.
Thank you.
Anybody else?
How soon could we get started on this?
I think as soon as you go through your board vote and then the county approves it, we'll start on getting final submittals to the team and begin ordering equipment and start working on it.
How long would it, I mean, is this equipment readily available? I know there was a time that.
Equipment is usually 12 weeks. That's a common one. The bigger unit for the auditorium may be a little bit longer, so I'm not really sure, just depends on what they have, but the smaller units are typically 12 weeks lead time.
Okay.
All right.
And from the time you receive that, from the time you get going to the time of completion, how long?
I would guesstimate on that building probably in the same time frame of Dandridge or a White Pine, because it's a similar type setup. We're doing inside and outside work, so I would say it's roughly a 6-month period. Depends on weather, some different things like that.
So from the time, if we were to approve this, from that time, well, let's say from the time the county commission approves it, it'll take about 9 months from ordering to completion.
Somewhere in that time frame, yeah. 6 to 9 months, absolutely.
Okay. Thank you.
And if and when you do pull the trigger on this, I will update you on time frames for everything, the schedule, etc. So at that point in time.
Anything else?
And just to clarify, I know Maury Middle, I think, was the other one that was kind of in debate on the other one that might need it. This was definitely much more needed than Maury.
I would say you have a lot more newer equipment at Maury, but they're in similar condition, if that makes sense. So it's, and they're both comparable in pricing, so I think we went with Jefferson Middle because I'm not sure why. I think that was just the focus at one point in time.
But the units overall are older.
Yeah, they were both built at the same time. They have a lot of the old split systems that are in there, a lot of the same issues with indoor air quality, humidity, et cetera, that we see with that type of building, that age of building.
Okay, thank you.
Anybody else? All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Paul had asked that ADA improvements at school facilities be placed on there, number 7. You see there.
Yeah, so, you brought to my attention a couple areas. Let me just start by saying, our school buildings themselves are not out of compliance. So I'm not talking about a specific school, I'm talking about facilities, football fields, softball fields, stuff like that. But I do know that there's certain areas that are harder to access. Say if you're in a wheelchair or if you had a walker, for whether you be students or parents, that I think it, as a school district, I think that we try to keep these facilities as much available to people with disabilities that have a hard time getting back to them. I've heard many times how a lot of our parents are grandparents now, whether because parents are working or for whatever reason, so I don't mean just wheelchairs, but I'm talking about people that use walkers, and I don't know, I would venture to say even somebody with a cane or just somebody has a harder time walking, keeping their balance as they get up in age. One of the places that was brought to my attention was the softball field at the high school, and I do know it's, and stand me correct, it's, the parking lot is paved, correct, Dr. Arnold?
Yes.
But once you get to the parking lot, which is the outside field, that's the end of the pavement. You're in grass the rest of the way, all the way up to the stands. So even if it's just doing sidewalks, I understand there's probably a couple of schools that have the access to the football fields. I know Rush Strong specifically, once you leave the parking lot, try to get over to the ramp to get up there. That's a little bit of a dirt hard area. It goes in a little bit of a grassy area before you get to the ramp. I think Jeff Nell may have that issue, and Maury may have an issue with accessibility to the football fields themselves. And I just think it would be a good idea that if we maybe look at these areas and think about maybe doing a little bit of improvement on some of this to make these a little more accessible. And I've asked us to be put on there and see what everybody else thought about it. I've been kind of looking into, whether it be we just do a concrete walkway or just see what we need to do to some of these areas. So I spoke with Dr. Arnold about this, and our goal as I guess the compliance side of things is that we are in compliant. We are here for the students. So this would be a little bit of above and beyond when you talk about the general public. We're making sure that our stuff is compliant for our students. So these facilities, you're talking about, if you're having a football game from another school, we're going to make sure that the general public is not our main concern as far as making sure that the kids can get around. Am I correct on that?
Yeah, that's our primary focus, is to ensure that our schools are compliant, ADA accessible, for our students. And then, you know, we do the best we can, just like softball, you know, if somebody just comes, they don't know that it's tough, but we try to accommodate by pulling to a different location, letting somebody move up to the field level so that they can access that area. Same thing in baseball, and Maury allows, you know, those that have handicap to park inside the gate and even pull down, sit in the car to watch a game so that they can see. So, but we can, you know, it's like with anything, there's always areas that we can improve or make better.
So, yeah, I would like to see us try to improve in some of these areas, with the accessibility of, you know, getting the, people with disabilities being able to get, you know, whether it be a pavement, sidewalk, or, you know, if we need to do a ramping. The places I've seen, I haven't really seen a need for so much of a ramp as it is maybe just a concrete pad getting them up closer or wherever to the stands.
So I'm trying to understand what you're at. Are you asking that we do an internal study of what we need, or have somebody do a study of what we need, come up with costs? I'm not quite understanding what you're asking for.
I know at the New Market, they actually have a lady that's out of Knox County come in, who, she's in a wheelchair, that they were looking at their playground, and, you know, when they were looking at their playground, this lady was like, let's not even talk about that. You know, let's not worry about your swing. I can't even get to your swing. You know, and so, you know, the lady came to me, she was actually at the PTO meeting, or the maintenance committee meeting, and she was talking about how, you know, her eyes were really opened up to just the lack of accessibility, and, you know, what we think is, you know, easy to get to, you know, like the one playground specifically had a drop off. You know, she said, I wouldn't want to go down that, you know, once you get to the end of the ramp, it's got this drop off. And I know some of our playgrounds have gravel in them, which you're not going to wheel a wheelchair in. Now, you know, granted, not all of our playgrounds, not all of our schools have kids with wheelchairs, so I'm not saying let's go around and, you know, do all these playgrounds, let's, you know, or do all this stuff this year. But I do think it would be a good idea to maybe see if she'd be willing to come in and, you know, maybe give us a more of a priority list, maybe starting with maybe we have a need, and, you know, just start somewhere. And, you know, I don't know if it's, and I'll, you know, go with what Dr. Arnold thinks about this, but, you know, do we need to have an assessment done? I don't think a full-blown assessment, but I think there'd be a good needs list of, you know, hey, you have a child over here, a student over here, we may want to look at areas over here that would help him access around the facility a little better, or whether it be a playground, football field. And like I said, I have no idea. That might be the only child we have in a wheelchair. But if we have 3, then maybe we need to go and find out what would help these kids with the facilities at those 3 schools. Any ideas?
Tommy, have you ever had a complaint about any of those issues he's talking about?
Yeah. We've not had a complaint on the school student side of things. We, you know, there are a few complaints that come in from people who are visiting locations that may not be aware of accommodations that we make. You know, one thing to think about is, you know, you think about Thompson Bowling Arena down there to go to a basketball game. It's ADA accessible. You can get there to watch the game, but you can't access the entire arena. So I think that's one thing that whenever we look at ADA accessibility to understand that, you know, some students, even if we get them a sidewalk all the way to the playground, they do not have the ability to access that playground and what goes on inside there. So there's certain things that we can put in place. You know, we want to help any student any way we can, or you know, it's just like the football stadium, the ADA accessibility is on the
Left side.
yeah, the ticket booth side down there, and, you know, there has been people that park and they complain that they park back here to be closed, but then they have to walk all the way to the other end and not use steps. So, you know, there's a little bit of, I mean, with anything, it's the same thing. You take Jefferson Middle School, the football field down there, there's no ADA accessibility within the bleachers. There's, you know, we did create a way for a wheelchair to get all the way down to the field level now to be able to view that. So there's things, those restrooms are, you know, they're not great at any of those events.
There's room for improvement everywhere.
Always, yeah. Windows, doors, ADA accessibility, I mean, we always look to improve, add to. So, definitely something, you know, if you as a board want to look at, we'll be happy to add that to Austin's list.
Well, I would think the first thing would be to maybe do a little internal study to find out where we need it, if we need it.
Yeah.
You know, my thought. I mean, if we do need it, we need it. If we don't, we don't.
Yeah, and it's the same way, I mean, you know, somebody comes in, they want, it's kind of like Bill Blankenship's not here right now, but, you know, he's an architect. He designs, you know, he wants an award-winning, so sometime we have to scale him back on a few things. You know, he's in there talking about trees and aesthetics, and Austin's back there cringing about having to cut down those trees that he plants. I mean, you know, it's a give and take. I mean, we understand, we want something that we're proud of too, but we want it in a, you know,
Professional.
yeah, and then something that we can afford, maintain, and pay for. So, you know, we would definitely, if somebody came in, we'd want some limitations on, hey, this is exactly what you're looking at, the areas, not just, and Paul said it too, not just, hey, here's our facilities, tell us everything. Same thing the county got into. I think the county did a ADA accessibility, and it looked at everything, and, you know, they're 12 years into it, and half.
We've done priority 1 and 2 so far.
Okay. And the schools on our end have done some things at Piedmont, the high school. We will do some stuff at Talbot that are voting issues that the county ran into for voting that we're helping with on our end too. So.
And Jefferson Elementary, once it gets remodeled, will be ADA compliant.
Sure. Oh, yes. Yes, that is true.
Mr. Chairman, comment. Offer suggestion on this topic. This would be something good for our retreat, I would think, maybe in February. Time to gather information, and then we can discuss it and prioritize or whatever. You know, I understand, as I've gotten older, I understand that from here to that door now is a struggle, it used to be, you know. So I agree with what you're saying. We may pick things that need to be, that we can do, could afford to do, but that would be a good topic, I think, for the retreat, and give us time to gather information on that and discuss it then. Just my thoughts.
Anyone else? I agree. It'd give plenty enough time to get some stuff researched and looked at. All right. Anything else there, Tom?
I don't have anything else there. Paul? All right. Next is, Coach Bradley asked for some, field lighting there at Maury Middle School to be considered again. Anything you want to talk about there, Coach?
Sure, lights are getting pretty dim, almost to the point they're probably playing in the dark, I don't know. But I think it's time to replace those field lights. I know there are also seating situations at Maury and at Jeff Middle that could be addressed separately. But the lighting issue, I guess the biggie for me, I would like for this to be on the agenda for our meeting, our business session, because it does, like you mentioned earlier, it takes a while to get things together. And you'd like to have the new lights up by next football season. So this is not something we can put off. I think it's something we can do. And I don't, maybe Perfection Group could, or somebody give us an idea of the cost, I guess is the big issue, of what it would cost to do that. And I don't have that number. Anybody would take a stab, I would,
Did we not have a price on those at one time?
Yeah,
Has to take the
Can
money
we
out
not
of
get
fund
them?
balance and vote it down.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we were looking at, in excess of $500,000 to be able to put, adequate lighting in there, to be able to, put poles up, fixtures, be able to light the playing field and the, parking lot. I know we've had, it's very dark in that area. I don't think you could really safely play a football game if it went into nighttime there. We have upgraded, we upgraded Rush Strong's electrical service down the football field. Is that complete yet?
It is not complete.
Not complete, but we're working on it.
Yeah.
It was sketchy at best. So Maury's is the same way, very sketchy service.
I believe we still got the same lights we had there in 1962, hadn't we, Coach?
Probably.
I walked up the hill in the dark many times.
Matt's got something, he's got,
Yeah.
You want me to come up?
Yeah, come up here and give us, you can give us some, I'm looking for a number. Okay?
And I don't have a number on me, but last year when we looked at both schools, one of the things we added to the program was the lighting at the football field at Maury. So I have an idea of a number. I'd have to get updates on lighting costs, but I can give Dr. Arnold the number that is pretty close, if that makes sense to you. Is that?
We'll take it.
Okay. And it'll give us scope of work, because there were new poles that were gonna go up. I mean, there's a lot of work that needed to be done there to upgrade and improve that lighting facility as well as the parking lot lights. So, I'll get all that Dr. Arnold, and he can share that with you guys.
You think you could get us a number by the time the business session?
oh yeah, we'll hold him to it. That's a 10 days away right at it, so.
Yeah. No, I'll have that. I can probably get it to you tomorrow by Wednesday at the latest.
Right. So we know what number we're voting on at the next meeting, okay? Yes, thank you, appreciate it.
Any questions there? Number 4, a little bit of information in your packet just on threat assessments. So that's a requirement by state law we put in there. So you'll see the number of threats investigated, number of viable threats. and that's August 6th through October the 10th. Also in your packet is updates on mental health services in Jefferson County. That was requested, just the number by October the 6th that Helen Ross McNabb had completed, and by October 9th was whenever Allied Behavioral Health gave us a report for the number of services provided, students and hours. Then also bullying investigative reporting for the 2024-25 school year is listed in here. Total number of harassment, intimidation, bullying, or cyberbullying cases were investigated indicating bullying occurred. So then there is, that's 24-25, then there's a report in there for the number of cases for this school year up till October the 9th. That is the number that have reported cases and the number that have been reported and determined to be bullying. And then also in here is zero tolerance offenses. So there zero tolerance offenses for possession, use, distribution of illegal drugs. And then there was one threat of mass destruction, mass violence last year that turned into a ZT. This year we have, as of October 20th, number of zero tolerance offenses that have been dealt with up until October 20th of 8 for this school year. So I don't remember somebody some of this we have to give you, and then somebody asked for some additional information that was provided. I'm sorry, I don't know who it was right off the top of my head, or multiple people, but I had notes to get this information to you. Any questions on that? Yes, sir.
So on the October 2025 report, it says September 15th to October 10th, the number of threats investigated 24, and then at the very bottom it's August 6th through August 10th. It says 66 threats investigated. So from August 6th through September 14th, there was 42 of them?
That's a lot.
Was that the beginning of the year?
Yeah,
In the first month, there was 42, and
there
then it
was a
dropped.
lot. I can't remember exactly, I tried to put it all together, it was on your last report that you got, how many there was, that's why I broke it up that way.
I just wanted to make sure I was reading that right, because I was like, maybe I'm
There's
not
been
reading
a lot
something.
this year, yeah.
Okay.
But viable threats is zero.
Zero, yes.
So, viable threats is zero. I mean, you know, that can last anywhere from 2 minutes. I mean, basically you get a threat, report, investigate it, and determine that's nothing quick. Some of them can last 2 days, involve Homeland Security, Sheriff's Department, local PD. Some of them go on for, we had one at Rush Strong this year that went on for weeks, off and on. So they're, you know, sometimes they last, like I said, 2 minutes, and sometimes multiple days it takes to get to the bottom of it. But some of that stuff comes in the first week from students, from summer break, and various things too. So I remember counting whenever we started. I said, "There's 1, 2, 6, 7." I mean, you know, we wasn't even the first week of school. So, I quit counting. Quit. But there's some information for your taste buds and to look at, and it is a lot. Just, you know, you're looking at 66. So Talbot may have had 3 of those, and the high school may have had 15 of those. So it is kind of dependent on that. Any questions on that? Nothing?
I got.
Yes, ma'am.
Could we, get a breakdown on, like how many of these type of threats based on which school they are?
Well, I can send you that information. So, of the 66 threats, is that how many there were?
Well, it's like a combined number that I see here, and I'm
Yes.
just wondering of that, like how many for each school?
Yeah, we can break that down. Yes. Make sure. So for the October, yeah, I will send that to you. We'll look at doing that quarterly. So right now, we're in a quarter. So we have to produce you monthly reports, and then on our quarterly reports, we'll break them down by school for you. Do it. Anything else? All right, next is on there is a proposed 2026-2027 academic calendar. Lost my spot. So it gives in there just an overview for you. Know that I sent this out to employees. Know that there's close to 1,200 employees. So, you know, some people didn't respond. Some people thought, well, I thought if I liked this one, I didn't need to respond. You know, I got a bunch of emails, a bunch of conversation. The teachers don't like returning in August, they don't like returning in July, the last few days of July. But they also don't want the semester to go past Christmas break. So you only have so many days in there to fit in a semester, 9 weeks to end it. They also don't want to give up a fall break. They don't want as many split weeks so that we have consistency. So there's a lot of things that we took into consideration. I know that this one thing that's different, I can't always guarantee teachers that we can start in August. There's a possibility it could have worked out this year, but there's no way it could have worked out next year with elections being in November, and going forward it gets tough. So one thing that we added this year to this proposed calendar is a week-long Thanksgiving break. Right now, historically, we've always went Monday, Tuesday, and then out Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for our staff. So in looking at the next several years, I feel like that we can fit in a week-long Thanksgiving break, still complete our semester. Josh's over there licking his lips. So one thing that this looks, he'd have to quit. So we wouldn't have him. We'd take him as a teacher, but.
I can speak from
Yes.
experience on the block schedule, second 9 weeks. We always had 2 weeks left after Christmas. It was amazing how much they had forgotten, in that time off, and you're trying to, 2 weeks, trying to end the semester in the middle of January. Thanksgiving, too. Of course, I started teaching, we scratched on rocks, but anyway, Thanksgiving used to be Thursday, Friday, and we had school up to Wednesday. Well, Wednesday started to get thin on pupils, so we made it half a day. Well, it even got thinner. And, you back up. So now you do away with Wednesday, told you how they got Monday, Tuesday, well, then they started getting thinner. So I agree with if you can possibly, a week for Thanksgiving, it just, I mean, nobody shows up. You know, they gotta travel, you know, they gotta go somewhere, and if you give an inch, people take them off, you know. So take the week off and be done with it, if you can. I would rather start in, this is my personal opinion, I don't like starting in July, but I'd rather do that than have some time off at Thanksgiving.
Right.
And, you know, and have all the students there,
Yeah.
that's, you can have class. You definitely want to end the semester before Christmas.
Right.
For sure.
Right. Well, I think that, you know, just in conversation and working with people, I know, you know, Sam Hollingshead over there, he's helped us out a lot in developing this calendar and coming up with ideas and concepts. And I mean, you know, we feel like it would be a great thing for our employees. You know, it gets hard to get off on Tuesday and get everything done that you need to, or travel somewhere, or it doesn't take away, in my opinion, it doesn't take away from instruction. You know, one thing I put in the overview for you was to, you know, provide those balanced semesters and consistent breaks. I don't feel like coming back a Monday, Tuesday before Thanksgiving really does a lot for it. Especially in today's world, I think it leads to greater absenteeism, which we're combating already and trying to get better at. I think this would help with that. You know, students that are chronically absent by, we have a ton that are chronically absent by, you know, 2 or 3 days. So every day matters to get them to school. And I think this would help to get them to school more. And then, also in looking at, you know, Sam's at college, he does some college adjunct work, and a lot of our kids are taking dual enrollment classes, taking work-based learning, just opportunities where they miss consistent days, like putting all our PD days on a Monday or on a Friday, and you miss that same day 3 times in a semester, and it hurts that class, especially for students taking a college level course. So this spaces that out, takes that into consideration. You know, you all can review this, you all approve and set those calendars, and it would, you know, just consider it. I know that teachers don't want to come back in July, the last 2 days, but we're going to have to. Also, one thing that if I don't start employees in July, then they don't get benefits until September. So their health insurance wouldn't start. So if the first day teachers report back August 1st, then their benefits don't start until September. Now, this costs the board extra money to start benefits, but in my opinion, it's the right thing to do for our employees. Starting back as a start date of July, you know, for these new employees, ever how many we have, there's no lapse in their benefits, or their benefits pick up right away in August and go forth there. So that's another thing that we just consider, that a lot of people don't understand. They're already working, but it does help our new employees and recruitment of staff too. Any questions on? Yes.
So one of When are the students' first day? Is it Wednesday, the fifth?
So it is Wednesday the 5th off the 6th, because 6th is an election day. So that's why you see a start day on the 5th. That is a partial day that allows us to, that goes back to my first year in 2022, whenever we had the storms, 35 county roads closed. We didn't know where kids lived. I said, we'll never do another full day as long as I'm here. So that gives us a partial day to find out how kids are getting home, meet with moms, dads, grandparents, whoever, you know, fill out car rider tags, get information, and be able to have a trial run a little bit to make that happen.
So that's a short day for them?
Short day.
Okay,
Yes.
so their first full day will be on that Friday, then the 7th?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, why do we do that? So, who got a, did you get a new teacher this start of the year? Somebody did. I did. Ben did, yeah. So, Ben started the year with, you know, 2 kindergartens. And numbers came in and they were too high. We had to add a kindergarten from the start of school, the first days to, you know, second and third day. So we've got to go gather up stuff from Jefferson Elementary School, take it to Rush Strong, and this gives us time to make that happen whenever we have to add a classroom to meet regulations.
I just tell you, I think that, my kids going to school here since 2005. I don't know why you waited till my last one graduates, have a calendar like this. You get a full week off with Thanksgiving and fall break, you know, you still get the same Christmas break and spring break, and you're still getting out.
This
on
is,
Wednesday.
yeah, this is volume 16, edition 126 on the calendar.
Yeah.
So it didn't just happen. I mean, you know, Sam sent a lot of feedback back that helped us to really hone this in on the week-long Thanksgiving break and adjustment of the days. You know, a prime example is September 7th is a holiday. What holiday is that? Labor Day. Is that first Monday in September? So, and then we follow that up with a PD day right after that, so that, I mean, bottom line is we have a lot of kids, staff, whoever that will miss a Monday, and then, you know, miss a Friday and a Monday. So this gives us a little bit of connection, so that we don't have a 4-day week here and then another 4-day week 2 weeks later. So there's a little bit more consistency in the calendar. So,
But why couldn't you be working on these calendars all these years?
I know.
It's a beautiful calendar.
So you all take this in consideration, look at it, and you know, this is what's proposed before you, and we'll go from there. I believe that concludes where I'm at on the items for information and input items coming up on the board session agenda. So I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. Informative. All right, school commissioner items for discussion. Doug.
I got a call over the weekend, and I've since found out that a couple of other commissioners got the same call, about there is a rear parking lot primarily for staff that at Dandridge Elementary School. That thing is so dark at night. I went up there the other night. It's accessed from this little dog dance road off of Industrial Park Road. You turn up it, and it's, if you didn't know where this thing was, you wouldn't know it. But it abuts right up to where the preschool is at Dandridge. And it's primarily for staff and teachers. That thing, there's not a light. The back of the school is in front of it. The back of industrial buildings in the back of it backs up to it. There's nothing to the left of it, and this little Vance Road comes up is to the right of it. That is, and I don't know if the principal of Dandridge has received any complaints about this or not, but that thing is really, at night, especially when teachers are there for, special events at night and everything else, I wouldn't feel real comfortable if my wife was a teacher, her parking back there and going back there at night. I mean, there is really no way, if someone's lurking back there, you wouldn't be able to see them. If there's bears back there, you wouldn't be able to see them. So the request was that we look at possibly putting some lighting back in that, so it's at least illuminated enough where people feel safe going back after dark. And I went up there and I completely concur with that. I think we need to do something. Now, since Paul got this, Paul and Don, I don't know if anybody else got calls on this thing. Paul and Don got calls on this. I guess Paul went and talked to Appalachian Electric about costs, so I'll turn it over to Paul on this one.
Yes, I got a call about it, and it was basically the same kind of concern, that basically once it gets started, I guess they had a parent-teacher conference or something happened last week where it extended kind of long, and it was dark by the time some of them came out. You want to know about lighting? I didn't even know that parking lot existed. I actually drove up there before I came up here just to take a look at it. It's not really big, but I said, well, I don't even know what the process would be. And like, I would just, so I called a friend of mine that works at Appalachian and said, hey, is that something that we would have to buy a pool for? Is that something that you guys do? Like, what is that process? And it's something that they can do. I just got this information. It was about 3:30, 4 o'clock. They were getting ready to be done for the day. So I don't know if there's certain requirements either. So, he's talking about a wooden telephone pole. And I went up there right before that, and I know there's metal poles out in the parking lot.
In the front part.
In the front parking lot where they park. So I don't know if we're under a requirement of doing a certain type of pole or whatever, but they'd be willing to go up there and meet with whoever, whether it be Dr. Arnold or, Austin, and make an assessment on how many he thought we need. I mean, I'm not a professional by no means. I don't think we would need more than probably 2, but I can't make that assessment, but he's talking about at the max if we need the transformers for each one. We're looking at at the max $500, but that's a 40-foot, that's a wooden telephone pole.
Right, yeah, we don't care. We use that, you take Jefferson, if you drive down the road and look at Jefferson Elementary School versus Jefferson Middle School, it looks like a car lot versus, something on the Appalachian Trail, as far as lighting goes. And, basically, we use a lot of Appalachian Electric pole lights for Jeff Elementary because they don't have any pole lights in the parking lot. We did, we upgraded Dandridge Elementary's parking lot. We have adequate parking at Dandridge Elementary. They park back there at a convenience. We can shut that parking lot down and have more than adequate space back there for personnel. There's probably, I would say there's 60 empty spots in the school parking lot. Nobody parks along the woods. Adequate spaces up front, down by the playground. But there's also exterior lighting on the ends of the building. I know sometimes there's some issues with a lightning strike of a photo cell or something. Austin can look at that. We could put additional lighting up there. But there is some exterior lighting there. That road comes in, the road that comes in is also access to the cottages for Jefferson Park. So we spent money to pave in some of those potholes that were created. And then also We cleaned out that coming up, it was grown up, hanging over the road. We cleaned all that up and improved that. The biggest thing is people park there because they need out. They don't want to get blocked in. We'll look at it and see what we can do back
That's
there.
all I'm asking, yeah.
There is, on the end of that, Jim's back there, on the end of kindergarten hall, isn't there a, security light up there?
I think there is.
We can look at that and see on that, see what we can do to add that in.
I was just up there on Sunday night, and there was no light.
Yeah.
So maybe we have it, it's not working or something.
Something, yeah.
But if you look at it, that's all I think.
Oh, yeah.
We can ask.
Yeah, we've added in a bunch. I mean, New Market, Jefferson, White Pine, so New Market, Rush Strong, yeah, Talbot's great.
You can't sleep if you live
Yeah. Jeff Denton, y'all know Jeff Denton with the maintenance department, with the county maintenance department. He was on me for, you remember that light was shining in his bedroom window from Jeff Middle School? So we had to get on a boom truck and lower it down yes, we can greatly improve those, and we used Appalachian Electric, so it's KUB at Rush Strong, because that's on their service, but that greatly increased the visibility there along the road after basketball games and events. Talbot, White Pine, New Market, Jeff Middle, Dandridge, the front and bottom. So we can look
Yeah,
at.
I'm just saying if we can do it for relatively low cost, then that's fine. So I have nothing else.
My only question with that is that when we do have an event up there, do we fill, is there an event that fills those spots up?
Parent-teacher conferences, you know, yeah, they have school-wide events, just like you still do K through 2 stuff, 3 through 5 sometimes. Mount Horeb does that same thing. They'll do K through 2 one night, 3 through 5 another night, just to be able to accommodate. They do Thanksgiving here in the next month. Sam will do Thanksgiving. There's not enough parking in the Mount Horeb community for all the people that come out. So it gets crazy over there. You'll go from serving 350 meals to 3,000, like a soup kitchen over for Thanksgiving. They have the biggest turnout I've ever seen, so.
Any other items for discussion? All right, I'll take that as we're ready to adjourn. So then that makes us, our next meeting is gonna be what, November 6th, yeah, November 6th.
One more thing, I'm sorry, I forgot this. We will be having a special call policy meeting, all right, on the, prior to the November work session, all right, and that will be at 5:30 on November 11th, all right. Mr. Hardy has a couple of policies he wanted to close, and the mayor has a policy.
Give me those for free.
Putting notice of contract renewals in our consent
Okay, that might be, I thought about that, like an item for information.
Yeah, an item for information.
Not that we're gonna vote, yeah.
No.
Like it could be for the work session.
Yes, just a notification.
Then we can discuss it.
Yeah, okay.
And if we want to do something about it, then we got the business set.
Right.
Anyway.
I would adjourn.
Not
What I
the
said.
11th.
November 24th, my mistake. Now, I know, but everybody needs to have the policies that they want to be reviewed in our policy committee into Rhonda by November 11th. If they're not in Toronto by November 11th, they will have to wait until our regular policy meeting in January.